Namaskaram, everyone. So, today is the day after the second full moon flirtation with Sadhguru session, and then yesterday, just after the satsang, I received a query from one of our meditator. So he asked me that first of all, he expressed his experience that it was so beautiful, amazing feeling, and he had a deep longing after the satsang. And he said that he does not know what he's feeling. And he also was asking that Sadhguru has said many things about intensifying the sadhana, and then the upcoming offering, which he discussed about the Kshetrajna. And he said that he felt somewhat like a fear of missing out. And I have actually done a lot of volunteering work with Shashwatana, and then I completely understand his situation, his balancing between work and family and sadhana. And I think this is a very common scenario with most of the meditators. So he's asking that the social situation will not permit me to take up these things. So again, this will be, whatever I'm about to say will be out of my own experience. And so the thing here is basically what he is saying is he has a deep longing. That is the first thing he said. He has a deep longing, and he feels like he's hanging in between, but at the same time he says that he does not know what he's feeling. So this is a very, very beautiful state to be. This is a very, very beautiful state to be, because this is a quality of a devotee. For example, when you fall in love, it's so hopeless. I think Sadhguru also mentioned the same thing yesterday, that he just started as a flirtation because he had to consecrate a Dhanalinga, but afterwards he became so involved that he took the entire thing, and then he actually fell hopelessly in love with us. And if you watch one of his video in the past, one of the Lap of Master event, during the discourse he said that he is actually a devotee towards everyone, everything, and all the beings all around. That's how he's going across for Kaveri calling, Isha Vidya, Rally for Rivers, everything. So basically, like I said, it is a very, very beautiful way to be, that you are in that state. So as if you know that the longing is there, because you have certain kind of incompleteness at the moment, because you are not actually sure about where this feeling is coming from. And as you know that the modern terminology, what we refer is from the Isha's perspective or the meditator's perspective, we call it inner engineering. So at the moment, whatever experience we are feeling, for example, love, joy, ecstasy, whatever it is, at the moment we feel it, that it is actually coming from outside. And this is why we get this feeling that, okay, I do not know what is happening and then where it is coming from. Like I said, it's a beautiful state to be, but still we are not actually aware that where it is sprouting from, where it is coming from. But we have to come to the state that all the experiences are made from within, what Sadhguru actually refers from. And then all these practices, starting from inner engineering through VSP, Shunya, and then the Samyama, these are all the practices and programs that is actually to make you understand that whatever the experiences you are going through, joy or misery, ecstasy or agony, everything actually comes from within. So until the experiences are not established within yourself that you are capable of generating these experiences by yourself. Again, experience is not the end goal. Experience is just the support, so that it's the impetus, so that you can move towards more and more freedom, and eventually the highest flowering, or the ultimate well-being, what we refer as enlightenment. Let's not discuss about that at the moment, but that is what the main objective is, so that at least initially all the feelings has to be from within. So that is what it is, that it's a deep longing. Why? It is because you still feel incomplete. Okay, it is still feel incomplete. There are two ways of the yogis. One way of the yogi is basically they want to completely become the divine themselves, so they follow a way of kriya yoga and everything. So there's no difference between you and the devotee, you and the object of devotion, or you and the guru, or you and the divine. Basically you dissolve yourself, you become nothing, and then only the guru's presence is, or only the divine is. That is one way to approach it. The another way to approach it is however powerful experiences it is, you want to maintain a distance between you and then the guru. And there's a deep longing, because still how much powerful experiences, or how blissful the life is, since there is a distance, it will never be complete. So that is why if you use the tools, for example, in my experience, if you use the way of the devotion and everything, what actually happens is you will have all these feelings and everything, but still there is certain longing. The longing is very beautiful thing, until you don't come to the point that okay, everything is actually coming from within. A guru is just there to guide you, and then he's there to support you. Without him, it's nearly impossible, at least in my experience. Okay, so that is the deep longing is there, because you still do not feel complete. The moment maybe once you'll take up all the programs, and then eventually when your sadhana intensifies, and then finally you come to the point where if you want to create experiences, it's fine. Okay, whatever experiences you want to generate, blissfulness, ecstasy, sweetness of your being, if you come to that point, then the longing will not be there anymore, because there will not be a difference between you and then the guru, you and the divine, you and his presence. You will just become an empty vehicle for his presence. So still until you don't come to that state, you have to keep your sadhana going, and then whatever possible methods you can use. Now coming to the second part, we're all in the social situation, and we got a lot of juggling to do. Okay, so work is there, family is there, and then sadhana. Now this question arises only when we still have not actually come to our, it might sound a little bit cold from a side, but we have not come to the senses. Okay, so what the life is, and then what we are doing at the moment, and what do you want from life. The only thing why this is happening is because we still have not come to our senses that we are mortal. Okay, if you know that you are going to die tomorrow, or it is possible that you can die next moment, what you are going to do? Okay, so are you going to freak out, or you are going to figure it out what all this life is all about? Because whatever we call as a social situation is basically just a support for our survival. It has no other utility other than that. Actually, that is what it is. Whether you fall in love, you have children, you make a family, you got everything, it's just a support system for your survival of your body. So, and Sadhguru always notes that, always informs everybody that spirituality has got its own significance in the social world, but it is 100% like internal work. It has nothing to do with like where you are. You might be in the ashram, but like you might still be thinking about a lot of things going on in the world. For example, I met one of the Anna who was in the sadhana pada, and we came very close. While I was doing all the programs in the ashram, hatha yoga, and then advanced programs in the ashram, and then he was very intense as well. His look was intense and everything. He was doing everything, but he was not experiencing as per se. Okay, so what actually happened is he had got he was always thinking about his girlfriend while in ashram. So it's not a bad thing. These are all things happens and everything, but what is going to happen is we just need to understand that when you are in a family situation, you need to get involved, but at the same time you should not be carry things with you all the time. I think Sadhguru has mentioned one of the joke of Shankaran Pillai, where Shankaran Pillai actually carries the load with in his head in the train. So when we do our sadhana, we just need to know that we need to keep aside everything and then just get involved with the sadhana, and then slowly whatever you do in the real world, let's say not the real world, but everything is the same world, but at the same time, let's say in the society, when you are going over there now, the expression is going to be out of your experience, you're overflowing, rather than what we'll get from the society. Because at the moment what actually happens is most of the people actually is only struggling to survive. If you're just trying to survive and everything, then society will become everything. And that is where all this power struggle goes between the family members and people in the society, and everything goes on like that. But now about a fear of missing out and everything, what is going to happen is the sadhana is on all the time. The sadhana is on all the time. There are certain practices because of the powerful, some practices are so powerful that you should not be doing continuously because of the limitation. It has been packed into certain duration of time. You should not be doing that, and that is one aspect of it. But at the same time, there's no fear of missing out once you are initiated and everything. In my experience, you are already there and everything. The only thing is how available you are to his grace, and then whether you are actually living your practices day in and day out. Because just Sadhguru mentions that if you just want to become liberated, you don't need to undergo all these other intense practices and everything. Only when you want to, let's say you become a blissful life, but at the same time you want to take the blissfulness to the other people. That is where the real challenge is. And without empowering yourself in all dimensions of your life, it's going to be very, 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 very difficult task. And you might hear his angst as well. You love someone, and then it looks cruel from the lover's point of view, your beloved point of view, that why you are doing all this, but this is the thing that has to be done. And so you can make everything into the sadhana. For example, at the moment it looks like people feel they are stuck in the social situation. Not so. Nobody is actually stuck in any social situation or something. And that's how all the tools that are provided by Sadhguru is basically to empower yourself so that you can handle them. And in my own life experience and everything, the one thing is you need to be clear about what you want. First of all, like I said, once you know that you are mortal, what is going to be the first priority? For example, let's say I told you that a social structure is basically for your survival only. Now whatever you are doing at the moment in your life actually has significance only because there are people you care about. For example, you are doing work. Why? Because you need to support your family. I'm not saying it's bad or anything, it's the way it is. We just need to see the things as they are without adding anything or subtracting anything. Now the next thing is let's say tomorrow, let's say the COVID is around us and lockdown going on in Bangalore and everything all over the world, also in many places. So Now this situation happened. What if tomorrow something happens to the people you care about? Will the job, whatever you are talking about, will it matter again or not? For me, if things go bad, or something happens to the people whom I am supporting at the moment, they are, let's say, no more there. Whatever I'm doing it does not mean anything to me. Okay. That most of the time will happen to most of the people. That's where people go crazy, and that's how all this psychiatry, a lot of alcohol, drugs, is smoke and everything, all the food habit, junk food, is coming to the being just to support that. Now what you need to understand is, see, if even if everybody will become a hardcore spiritual people and everything, them going to the ashram and staying there for a long time is a very ideal kind of idea, but at the same time may not be realistic for everyone. Okay, because most of the people who have come into the spirituality, they are from a different age group. Some of them are running a business, some of them have got family to take care of, somebody are just starting out and everything. They got a lot of ambitions. And it is important that when we are trying to transform the world, so basically at this point of time, we need to keep in mind that we also need a lot of undercover yogis. Okay, not the weekend yogis. We need a lot of undercover yogis. That's a different aspect of it. So that's why what Sadhguru says is if you hear what he said yesterday was, you start with a 7 day, and then slowly you gradually bring it down. Anyway, to make your life more easier, what is actually happening is, let's say, I know that you are single at this point of time. This is not the recommendation from anybody or even you. Just I'm just trying to create a little bit of situation here. So let's say at the moment the social situation does not allow you to intensify your practices. Let's say, I said earlier, that it has nothing to do with society. For example, you can wake up early morning before the society comes alive, comes to you. You complete your practices whenever you can. Okay, nobody is stopping you with that. That is 100% possible. But now if you are married or something, now you can limit. Okay, you can limit you do your main important practices and you devote yourself. Devotion does not because a devotion is something you can do within yourself. Okay, even you are around people, devotion can go on 24 hours. Maybe a kriya yoga and hatha yoga will require you a certain time you need to do, maybe before other people wake up. That's one way of looking into it. Now what you need to understand is, coming back to your question of fear of missing out and everything, the society and everything, what we can do is the objective here is not only for us to realize or find our inner joy and ecstasy and everything, freedom, but to take the entire humanity towards that direction, the vision of Sadhguru, to bring one drop of spirituality to everyone. So in that context, is your family members also separate from that group of humanity? I think not, isn't it? Because they are also very alive, and then they are part of the humanity as well. So it has to begin from home, and then this is actually a great training place that you can overcome your limitations and look into it. For example, I will tell you that if you leave the inner engineering, just the inner engineering course, again, not the advanced programs, if you just leave that every moment of your life, these questions will not come around you. Because see, if you know that the suffering you are going through, when you know you are going through certain kind of suffering, and you know that how you can come about it and everything, then you realize what other people are going through also. So you'll make your best attempt to make make so that create the situation so that they can also come out of that situation. So coming back into that is now the suggestion is how to handle this is, see, the past karma is done. Okay, it's done. There's no control over that one. But now what is going to happen is under your control. Now let's say like uh, does the social situation like propels you to like get married, have a lot of children, and become that? Now it's up to you whether like what's your goal. Okay, it's up to you. Like nobody can suggest you what you need to do. But if you just want to go ahead and everything, then what is going to happen is, if you, let's say like reduce your like a social activity, and then like let's say like you plan to remain alone, or you got married with some another Isha meditator, spiritual seeker, then like it will become like a more smoother. And then maybe like you plan to have a children or not, that's a different aspect again. And even if you have to plan a children, Sadhguru has already created the situation, like a solution for that one. Like Isha Samskriti is there, Isha homeschool is there. So these are the different alternatives and everything. But if you want to like explode into like take everything into the next threshold, and then reach to the highest potential what Sadhguru can offer, and this existence can offer, then it's always best to like go alone. And now like what is going to happen is like when you stay alone, for example, for me, like I've been going through this nearly 10 years. Even before like I went through the Isha, I got initiated into Shambhavi. Even before that, like I was in that path because I knew the limitations and the possibilities. So everything comes with the certain kind of limitations and certain kind of possibilities. Everything, there's nothing like that. For example, like if you eat food, you have to go to the toilet. Okay, so if you want to breathe, you have to die. So these are the like different kind of things. So now like it's up to you like what is going to happen. So that is the karma that you can create for yourself. Now the social situation is going to reside slowly. Okay, even if you don't do anything, it is going to slow down slowly. And the best thing what you can do it is, let's say like if you are let's say like you are 100% certain that like okay, I cannot make 100%, 50%, or like I cannot make spirituality as the first priority of my life and everything. What you can do it is, you can bring the spirituality to your home. That is what like a Sadhguru has offered with the yantras. So you can bring like start with like Devi yantra, and then when she comes, she's going to grace your home. Your home will be like completely consecrated and everything. And slowly like when your parents will be exposed to the another dimension of experience and everything beyond the logic and everything, slowly the entire area will transform. And like if you have a little bit budget, you can get like Avigna yantra as well, which is like more powerful and can cover more area. Okay, for this yantras you can speak with the Isha directly. So this is my experience, like what I'm saying, like if you use the Avigna yantra, you can even transform your entire community also. Like it has that kind of like a power and everything. So if you cannot walk alone, like everybody actually walks alone. That is what Sadhguru also spoke in the first poem in the beginning, that the Telugu poem, I believe, which basically means that you come alone, you go alone. So what is all the drama in between? So that is one aspect of it. Like I already covered that, like it's the ignorance that like we are like mortal. Okay, ignorance that like we are not immortal. So that like we think that like we are not going to die. That's how like we are spending too much time on it. So it's your decision to make to call. But my final suggestion is like if social situation does not permit you to do it, like I said, you can do your hatha yoga and kriyas and everything before everybody wakes up. That is one alternative. Another way is like keep your like bhakti and karma yoga in full flow. I think like you are already in that flow and everything, based on like what I know about you and everything. So yeah, so like there is no such thing as a fear of missing out if you are already doing all your practices and doing it. And like get yourself a yantra if you the social thing seems like a challenge, but it's not. Okay, it's not, because like people will always do what they know best. So your your family or like the society might be doing their own thing, like what they know best. You should do what you know best. Okay, you should not do like what they know best, because like at the end of the day, like it's your life. And then when you like Sadhguru says that like spirituality is not a like a disability, it's the empowerment. And this is the time that like you have to bring the spirituality in your life. And then that is the main reason that like Kritika asked me that like why Sadhguru does not have any teaching. But like don't you think that like these are teaching? I told her that like there's no teaching, because like if you have a teaching or something, let's say like everybody goes to the college, let's say 5 people has gone to the college. If it was a teaching, 5 people are going to understand in their own way, and not everybody has got same kind of like a intellectual capability. Even 5 people goes to the college, if 5 people gives the exam, not everybody can retain the same amount of memory or even the same amount of analytical skills or something. So eventually like whatever we teach people or you learn, there will be a limitation, okay, always. And that is where like we decide like there's no teaching whatsoever from like Isha and Sadhguru himself. And this is the beauty of it. Because of that reason, like even if you don't know anything, if you just go over there and then if you keep your intellectual aside, logic aside, and you sit it over there, you might actually experience like a more crazier and know like the full depth of like who Sadhguru is, rather than trying to understand what he says. Again, this is from my experience, and by his grace, of course, like I have come to understanding that like mind has got its own capability. For example, at the moment, like I'm using the mind to explain all this kind of stuff, but at the same time, when I sit meditation and everything, I just like toss it off, toss it off, so that like I keep it aside. Like it's a best useful tool for survival and navigate the world, but it is useless if you want to access the other dimensions. So like if we cannot get out of the social situation, we have to like transform the social situation, or at least like make the social situation the place for our growth. Like Sadhguru says that like you have to carry Dhanalinga, you have to carry the Linga Vairavi, and you have to carry the Adiyogi Alayam with you, so that wherever you go, like your house, even your house will become an ashram. So hopefully like you don't need to think about like a fear of missing out if you are intensifying your practices. I know like you have already experienced the other dimension already. I completely know that. And now the only thing is like how deep your longing is. Okay, how deep your longing is, that like you are willing to you are willing to make a go how far it takes, what it takes and everything. But I'll tell you like there's nothing to take and nothing to go, nowhere to go. That is the ultimate goal. But at least like as long as in your experience, like if you have if you still feel that like there's a distance to cover and everything, so in that case like we just need to know and then like make use of whatever we have. So if you get the manure, you make use of the manure. Okay, so this is like actually like a wrong conception that like social situation does not allow us to do any sadhana or something. There are like a lot of examples. For example, like a Sadhguru is like a living example, and there are many meditators like who are intense enough in the family situation. The only thing is we just need to consciously manage the thing year onwards. Okay, year onwards, like how you can make use of it. You should not force your parents or like any people to go through like what you want to go through. Not everybody are ready or like they are capable of even. So the main thing is like you just transform yourself into like a blissful being, and like it is going to overflow. Okay, when it overflows, people cannot ignore it. It's just like the flower. If the flower blooms, nobody can like people forget about the thorns in the plant, isn't it? For example, like if you become blissful, and when you come like just by your radiance and everything, people will like okay, they also want to become you, and that is where we need to go. So anyone like a Sadhguru will be informing us like what the Kshetragna program would look like. He had already given like a little bit of blueprint, but we need to look into that one. And so no fear of missing out since you are already initiated. And another thing is like when he was speaking in that satsang is actually like a little bit of filtration from the previous darshans, because like the darshans during the pandemic period, which lasted nearly a year, in that period like he was speaking to everyone. Now as you can see, like this flirtation has got like a little bit of filtration. You need to register. Without registration you cannot go through. Since like you are already initiated and everything, like you already have access to his grace. Only thing is you need to be available to his grace. That's the only thing. This is basically like he's actually this is just like a general recommendation and general he's actually like he's speaking to everyone. You need to keep that in mind. And like I said, like you are already have a deep longing. That's very good. You just need to keep going. You need to intensify sadhana. What do you mean by the intensifying sadhana? Is not basically you do like a rampage or something like that. It's not like that. The moment that you know like what you need to do, you are already intense. That is what it is. Because like once you have a clarity, everybody, everything, whatever you have and everything will go towards that direction. The only thing is like there will be some spirit breakers. Obviously it will be there. Even like if you are intense enough and everything, even the death is just a spirit breaker. It cannot change your direction. It cannot stop you. So yeah, so like Sadhguru's grace is there for everyone. I think like it has lasted nearly more than half an hour, but I think like I try to like make you understand like what I have understood from my own experience. So like if you have deep longing, like again, like I said, there are many ways to handle it. Bhakti yoga can go on entire day. Okay, so thank you very much, and let everybody make use of Sadhguru's grace. Thank you. Namaskar.